Mic check, 1, 2. If you did not get enough or missed out on Chapter 1 between Dynamic Herb Cebu FC and Stallion Laguna FC, here is Chapter 2 for you. And both teams are out to continue their respective races to make it to the final series or the top 4. Thank you very much for joining us right here for your Philippines Football League action in the 2024-2025 season. As we come to you from the Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Stadium, this is Clara Manzano, your commentator for this match, and it is actually match number 82. Both teams squared off in match number 40 last Wednesday, which was rescheduled, hence it was in the midweek or held on a weekday. But for this one, this is a massive clash because, as we say, it's the end of the season. Both teams need those both teams are in must-win scenarios. Best case, Stallion or Cebu can make it to the top 3. And how do they do that? They grab a win here and then they win their last assignments, which will be next week. And both teams have to play catch-up for any lost points or drop points already. That's the scenario they find themselves in, as is the case for the end of any tournament. We'll also show you the standings in a bit to give you a picture, because it is actually a 4-horse race or a 4-team race to seal the last 2 tickets available to the top 4. And of course, to clarify things, the number 1 team after the double round robin will be declared as league champions. But the top 4 teams in the standings overall will actually make it to the final series, which will be a separate trophy from the league title itself. Let's do note again the top 2 finishers that will be in any order. KFC Iloilo and Manila Digger will seal tickets to play AFC competitions. But here, Stallion and Cebu want to get that chance to fight for silverware in the final series, because they are no longer in the running for the league title. Let's do recall also what's up for grabs. If you win the final series, you make it to the Shopee Cup, which is the ASEAN Club Championship. As fans continue to pour in right here at this lovely venue in Talisay in Cebu. And this is Claro Manzano, your commentator for this game. We'll also get into detail again, as we mentioned earlier, with the league standings, and then we'll also have the team lineups later on. But we do see our ball boys preparing for the pre-match walk-in, and as is the case, we are expecting mascots to accompany players onto the pitch. And in that game between our teams, which took place just last Wednesday, April 2, Cebu did fall 3-1 to Stallion, or you could also say Stallion defeated Cebu 3-1. And the 3 goal scorers here for Laguna, there was Stefan Schrock, who capitalized on the Alonzo Del Mundo assist, and then Truck paid it forward and assisted Finn McDaniel to double their lead. And there was Leo Makiling, who made it 2-1, but right after Juan Galliano Trujillo answered back to make it 3-1. Laguna sailed smoothly with a 3-1 lead. Finn McDaniel assisted that goal of Juan Galliano Trujillo. But for Leo Makiling, that goal was not a consolation when it was scored. When Mario Score set up Makiling, the Cebuano, because it was 2-1 at that point. And here's the league standings as we mentioned. Laguna number 4, Cebu number 5. They swapped spots after that Wednesday result. But we see that they are tied on points with the tiebreaker going one to Gig's way thanks to goal difference. That was lamang ang Stallion contra Cebu. Or Stallion is ahead of Cebu thanks to goals scored because their goal difference is tied. But at the end of the day, points will be the deciding factor. A win here or the winner here will nab fourth spot and will have the advantage heading into the penultimate weekend, which will be next week, to see again who will make it to the final series. One Taguig are also playing simultaneously, and simple as this, you talk about Taguig, Stallion, Cebu, who are prime contenders. Get the win, you elevate yourself to 30 points. Simple as is. You do not want to get a draw and then rely on the results of others. And there's Davao with an outside chance, but it's a little difficult given their goal difference. The max they can go is 27. So should Taguig, Stallion, or Cebu, should two of those three teams get a win today, they'll pretty much put Davao out of the running, as we can eventually head over to our team lineups to give you a preview on how teams will be taking it to the pitch with their respective squads. And with this side of Coach Glenn Ramos, it's the 4-4-2 as expected. Magson Dorado is getting the nod now, and then Ralphie Dabao is back after serving a suspension, when I recall correctly. And there is Goktug Demirolu, who is also inserted at center back. So he did miss last game due to injury. And Kainwa Bailey on the wing. Leo Makiling, despite of him being informed, will come off the bench here. And June Badelic, as expected, the keeper. And it will be an all-foreign starting, or all-foreign front line for Cebu with Dorado and Gaito Milan. Last time around, it was Abu Z and Gaito Milan. But let's talk about players to look out for in this game. Magson Dorado is the man to look out for because he is vital for this Cebu team to get going. He was a DNP, or did not play in that last game. We'll see also if we have time to give you the Stallion lineup, but first we are going to take it to the pitch for our pre-match ceremonies.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Stallion, Laguna FC, and your dynamic Herb Cebu FC!
Let's get to it. We already starting lineup of the visitor Stallion Laguna in the 3-4-3. Stefan Schrock, as expected, gets the nod. No A Placito, he's serving a suspension. Yuki Takatoku will man the midfield. Sea-Dog Schaffner will be on the left. Ricky Sendra will fill in the right once more, but expect Juan Galeana Trujillo to fill in at the back. Stephen Hahn will be at the heart of defense. And let's look at players to look out for if you talk about this team. Stefan Schrock, because he did bag a goal and then assist. He scored in about the second minute last game, and that just allowed them to take the driver's seat. And Coach Clint McDaniel, standing in for Coach Ernie, did say that the strong start was vital for them last game, and it is going to be a difficult task. But Daniel Gadia and company good spirits as we got to talk to them before this game. Ito na po mga match officials natin ngayong gabi dito sa Cebu. We do see si John Mike Basina ngayon referee natin, at ang assistants niya ay sila Relly Balila and Ian Christopher Salon. Si Levi Sabella ay ang fourth official, si Archie Reyes ay ang referee assessor natin, at si Mr. Robin Allen Kainglet ay ang ating match commissioner. This is Claro Manzano, your commentator for this evening. And as expected, the atmosphere here at the Dynamic Herb Sports Complex is just clicking on all cylinders because it's a Sunday. You could say that crowd came in a bit late last Wednesday given it's a weekday. People came from work or school. Cebu will kick, or it seems that Stallion will kick this one off. They're in their white, and then Cebu will be in red. We're in their final huddles at the moment. And Finn McDaniel has been the captain as of late for this squad. We say that because even before the departure of Balot Doctora, who was on the bench for Stallion as of late, it would be Matt Nieras. But although Matt Nieras is starting, it seems they've given the captaincy to Finn McDaniel. He is the leading scorer of this squad. We'll talk about scores also for Cebu in a bit. It's a 3-4-3 up against a 4-4-2. Will Shraki continue his ways? Will he set up players, teammates, or score? Or will Magson Dorado be the impact here? Or will there be any sparks off the bench as we are off? Belgira and Gabe Silva is playing and holding midfield now. His natural position is center back. As we mentioned, Magson Dorado potentially being the game changer. Ralphie Dabao, that fixture on defense for the Gentle Giants, is back also after not playing last game. I do recall it was a suspension. Let's just double check it. Throw in taken down the line. Dorado got to head it. Some contact from Stephen Ham, but not enough for a foul. Well, there is a whistle already. Dorado and Ricky Sendra getting tangled up. That was Brazil versus Argentina. A rivalry on its own. And Magson Dorado, Brazilian, Ricky Sendra, the Argentinian. Shraki got it. Galiana Trujillo up against Rafi Dabao. Demirolu back after injury. Corsame. Kore again came off the bench and then assisted Leo Makiling. Dabao to Kainwa Bailey. They'll try to man the left. Kainwa floats it in. Koichi. Del Mundo to chase as Kajamirul will try to go for it. He's really been enjoying his time with his club given that he is really based in Cebu. And confirmed it is off of Papu Corsame. Demirolu. Got it to Bailey. Ricky Senja. Kainwa Bailey hitting the brakes all of a sudden, shifting. Binigay dito sana kay Dorado pero pumunta kay Kore. Milland. He's taking on Nieras. Shakes and bakes. No angle, the cross. But the crowd wanted something from that. It's just quite a different look and feel here in Cebu. And we say that because it's a very unique atmosphere. And they have their cafe right here just beside the field. And plenty of, there's also a big contingent from Manila making their way to catch this game. Milan to Papu. That's the Netherlands to Tondo, Manila. Sea-Dog contra Corsame. Shraki. It's still here in the mix. Amirul. Clever to Gabe Silva. But Shraki read that well. He'll try to push it now. He eventually gets numbers. And with just a stop like that, Cebu's crowd celebrating it. as if they've gotten a free kick or a penalty. Cebu saying it was off of Shraki, but it is a throw-in for Laguna. Belgira looks on. Stephen Ham getting hit here. Ricky Senja furious, saying it was an elbow. No surprise we've witnessed this kind of energy with the game just starting. And we'll say it like a broken record. Cebu versus Stallion Laguna rivalry. Mr. Tassi confirmed, Coach Ernie confirmed 2 years ago. And here was that incident. We'll look at another angle. Here's another look, but the initial replay seemed like a better angle for us to decipher what went on. But at the end of the day, it's up to our match officials, as we say and as we know. And here was Ham, donning number 20. And then Magson Dorado came into the mix, came close. But at the end, our referee says it is a free kick. It's not essentially from scoring or Finn McDaniel range, but he's been taking free kicks and corners as of late. Finn sends it, punched away by Badelik. Sea-Dog, but it came, or Gabe Silva cleared it. Ham appearing to be okay. Kaito Milland wanting to win it with his work rate. This is work rate versus work rate here. And Stephen Ham, for the second straight spell, you could say, or for the second time in a minute, winning another possession. It's carried on, Koichi. Del Mundo, the Filipino-Mexican. We haven't confirmed the direction of this ball yet. It will go the way of Cebu, taken quickly by Amirul. Great initiative from Kaj. Objectively, we were looking for Magson Dorado in that last game Wednesday. That definitely would have been the case for Cebu fans because of what he can do. And Magson Dorado in Cebu has just been a different beast on his own. And we say that with his creativity and technical ability. Down the line by Belgira. We did see, of course, with Laguna playing their 2 games here. They opted to use some time to actually have some team building, or some members of their team opted to go to the beach. Have some rest and relaxation. For some guys like Stefan Schrock, he said this is a business trip. Galiana Trujillo couldn't poke it. McDaniel. Sea-Dog. Shraki. The defensive header from Shraki's student, or former student, Kajamirul. And then now it's Dorado who will win this at the back. He thought players were getting at it, but it was more of the crowd. And although we are calling this game from the broadcast panel, which is opposite of the grandstand, where our panel is right next to the main camera, you could feel the energy from the crowd because of the grandstand's close proximity to the pitch. The crowd definitely a factor here. That's why Cebu have made this place a fortress for games. But for some reason, if you could just pit these two things together with the storylines we have in such a crucial game, Laguna just have an excellent record here. And this clearance from Badelik was a little botched. Off of Papu, who gets the quick first step. It's him off the turn. Runs now. Takatoku. We saw the pull. It appeared. Not enough to convince our referee. Demirolu got it to Silva. Dabao. Here comes Milan, then there's a whistle, just like that, as we thought Gaito was on the clear. It's offside here, according to our linesman on the other end. Let's take a look at that. I believe the offside call was earlier. Cebu understandably contesting that. Orsame cutting inside. Dorado opted to give him the space and go out wide. But it's a success though for the visitors, as I spoke too soon. Bailey. Kainwa Bailey getting a hit to the shin, it seems. Seems our referee has allowed some contact, understandably. They know the rules, of course. They call the shots, as this is off the woodwork again. Cebu hit the woodwork after, or it's 2 consecutive games where Cebu hit the woodwork. You got a feel for them. There were some pleas from Coach Glenn, or some calls telling his team to get back quickly on defense. Clever ball to Galiana Trujillo. Flicked it to Finn. Demirolu took a fall, just did enough to get it to Silva. And will Gabe Silva playing holding mid be one of those many moves? Milan that has the step versus Ham. Loses his angle. But it's denied by Llamas, the American El Salvadorian. Great distribution to Sendra. Sendra to Shraki. Corre appeared to just take an accidental fall. Well timed from Ricky. They went to Gabe. Understandably, we can speculate Silva playing holding midfield, given he's good with the ball or with his feet, as Bailey's shot was stopped by Stephen Ham. And the crowd appreciating that effort. Here's a look again. This was not the play where Cebu hit the woodwork. Well, here was Dabao in the replay. There you go. That's where they hit the crossbar. That's gotta hurt. You could say there's a string of bad luck also for Cebu when you mentioned that they hit the woodwork or the goal frame last game, and then they did again now. Sometimes you factor in the law of averages, but we also know how the beautiful game could be. The diving header from Silva, but off target. Well, Llamas wanting better from his back line. Just 12 minutes in, and that feeling out stage has been back and forth action in the midfield. So when we assess things for Stallion, the traveling team, when we look at it with Cebu, given their players are based here, this is really where they live, and they do not live in hotels or any temporary setups. This is where they train also and have their gym sessions and therapy sessions. It's all business where they focus in the game. Demirolu, the defensive header. And Galiana Trujillo made sure it went out for a corner their way. Well, we're just mentioning the size of Cebu and Stallion, given that Laguna are on a trip. Some use that day off to relax at the beach. You can't resist that, of course, while you're at Cebu. And we mentioned also again, Abe Placito serving a suspension. He's not in the starting 11. Well, here's the outswinger from Galiana Trujillo. It bounced in front of the mouth of the goal, but the Gentle Giants just escaped that by the skin of their teeth. And here's June Badelic, captain of the side now, with Parish Tassi still recovering from his knee injury. We'll await Badelic to put this ball back into play. Off of Sendra, who will get it after some head tennis. Kaito Millen versus Stephen Ham is going to be quite a matchup. And it's not going to be quite a matchup, but it is proving to be quite a matchup, as it's Ham now who is at the losing end. This will be a free kick. Cebu had similar opportunities also from this range and angle in that last game. It was also Kainua Bailey who took it, but it just had a little too much swerve, and so it went off target. And the winner here again will elevate to 30 points and will be in the top 4. Whether it will be number 3 or number 4 will depend on the result of one Taguig's game versus Maharlika, which is simultaneous today at the Binyan Football Stadium. Bailey looks on along with Papu. Floated in, the header! It's the opener for the home side. You can confirm that one. A strong start this time around for the Gentle Giants. Is it, or is it off target? It was off target, I beg your pardon. So it is now Laguna escaping by the skin of their teeth, or just escaping. It apparently hit the side of the net. Perhaps the ball was between the net and the A-boards. Hence, I thought it was a goal from my angle. My apologies. Takatoku. And Yuki Takatoku did establish his presence in the minutes he received. Here comes Shraki trying to connect with McDaniel. It's inside the box. Amirul gets it out of their danger area. Belgira. Sidog Schaffner. Shraki getting clipped. Got hit twice. Referee gave advantage. And then there's a foul now, as it was Takatoku hit by Gabe Silva, or was fouled. Shraki holding on to his face. There might have been 2 hits here against the former captain of the Philippines. But there was advantage played his way. We'll see if we could take another look at that one again. But regardless, I hope Shraki's okay, regardless of side. But let's also note this will continue with a free kick from the middle. There was Takatoku. That's where the foul was eventually called. When Shraki took a hit, there was advantage played. The conversations here seem to be more than the usual free kick reminders. And this is from Finn McDaniel range as that designated man. There are also plenty of targets for him lurking up front. The drums here from Cebu trying to do their part to change this one. It's still goalless. Both teams have gotten close opportunities already. Here's the signal. A 3-man wall with towering players. It is absorbed by Demirolu. Stephen Ham ricocheted off of Demirolu. Galiana Trujillo stretching the defense. Sendra versus Dabao. Rosquillo. Shraki taking it. But it is off target. 18 minutes into this matchup. And it is game living up to the hype, given the implications again. AFC, or playing the AFC Champions League 2 may be out of the picture for these teams. But again, there's still that hope, that chance to play in the ASEAN Club Championship or the Shopee Cup. Taba providing a wide option. Dorado is getting past Takatoko and the help from Nieras. But Belgira again. Kore hit it wide. Papu. Ham the clearance. Amiru will try to neutralize that ball. And Stephen Ham gets it the attacking direction. Tabao getting back on time as expected. Demirolu versus Galiana Trujillo. And it is last touch here versus Laguna in white, according to John Mike Basinang. And this is a throw-in, but the Gentle Giants taking their time. Rafi Dabao tried to make it a free kick. Nieras. Chested by Dorado. Bailey did well to give him space. Shoulder to shoulder from Stephen Ham. And you could say that's textbook. "20 minutes into this game, still goalless at the moment." A big thank you for joining us on matchday.ph. This is Clara Manzani, your commentator for this evening. We are coming to you from the dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex in Talisay, Cebu. Del Mundo, will it be another assist for him? Both teams, of course, will take offensive options from anyone from their respective sides. Sendra, the cross. Takatoku. Stallion making the Cebu defense work. Rosquillo, but they're getting deep. Got to head it out in time. Won by Gabe Silva in his towering frame. Maham says no. This 3-4-3 of Stallion may just be that, or maybe that factor in stretching Cebu's defense. But as we say that, there was that error. Dorado. Bailey versus Nieras. Kainua. It was clever, but he was not on the same page as Gaito Milan. Here comes Del Mundo, space to operate. Sea-Dog Schaffner out wide to support. Then McDaniel up front too. And just decked by Gabe Silva. Seemed like legal contact. Milan waiting for support. Nieras did enough to just interrupt that. And Stephen Ham calmly got it to Alonzo. He may have megged Kainua Bailey here. Here comes Del Mundo, just giving that spark now. But it was played to no avail. We potentially wanted to give it to Schaffner or Galiana Trujillo. Papu versus Belgira. Corsame, still with him. Released. Showing his ball control, his futsal background. Maxon Dorado playing in the middle. Tabao out wide. The cross with his left. But not a problem for Llamas. No clean sheet for our two keepers, given that they both conceded in the last game, along with the respective defenses, of course. It's with Sendra. Wide to Shraki. He's opting to operate now here as opposed to the middle. As we say that, he cut in. Del Mundo, but blocked by the defense. And Rosquillo there again. Cebu getting stops as a unit. They're getting chances too. But it just seems at the moment that Laguna are the more dangerous team. Maybe with the more aggressive 3-4-3. They're getting more numbers to put pressure on the back four of Badelik. Shraki hit the pitch. He's not happy with that. Okore to Bailey. Kaito wanted it here. I'm calling for offside. He gets the number he dials. Kainwa Bailey not pleased with that. I'm not so sure if he was unhappy at the timing with his teammates or with the call of the referee, but these things happen. They're caught up in the moment and with the adrenaline just going. In the center grandstand, packed here. And the crowd is extended also into the bleachers in the cafe. It's Nieras. Stephen Halm getting up cautiously. Wide to Del Mundo. Gave it to Belgira. Back to Alonzo. Takatoku. Shraki versus Gabe Silva. Just got him with a quick first step. Shraki, but his looping ball is out and into the parking lot. The Cebu fans trying to get into their heads here of the visiting side. As here's that attempt from Shraki. But the scores again. Abu C is still the leading scorer of Cebu with 8. He is on the bench, not getting the start today. And Finn McDaniel of Stallion is in joint second spot as Bailey putting pressure on Ricky Senja. But the businessman gets this out with his veteran wits. Well, he's been given so much space here. He's brought it up almost 70% of the way. And Shraki gave it to Takatoku. Del Mundo. Shraki. It was clever to the point that Doug Schaffner did not see how that was going to be played to him. Schaffner was trying to make a run for it towards the defense. We did get a whistle, maybe just for the throw in here. And then Dorado taking a fall and rolls over. Playoff fouls. It's expected again. And as we've said, a number of members from the Philippine football community who are based in Manila traveled or made the trip here. We also got to see Stallion Laguna's women's team travel, given that it's the international break now. But Stallion's national team players who are with the Filipinas, of course, are in the United Arab Emirates. They're competing in a series of friendlies with that aforementioned country. Gabe Silva hit the deck. No whistle. Sea-Dog at the edge of the area takes it as it's off of Rosquillo. We've seen that locked in or lockdown effort from Jaime Rosquillo. It's because of the high stakes in this game. Here's the ball from Shraki, and Del Mundo just found a way to get it to Sea-Dog. And it will be a corner kick from the other side. And to clarify again, the number 1 team, it will be KFC Iloilo or Manila Digger. Whoever emerges as number 1 will be the league champion. That's this corner from Galeana Trujillo. Was picked up by Badelik. A long ball hoping to spark offense, but read by the ever reliable Koichi Belgira. You could say, of course, Belgira, that operator for them at the back, is making things work as the glue guy. Amirul. Ham towering above Gaito Milland. Nieras. Almost at the half-hour mark. Galiana Trujillo dropping back. Cebu compact in that 4-4-2. Gaito Milland lurking on the counter. Maxon Dorados as the other striker at the back, or also helping out. The visitors wanted a handball, it seems. But the non-call goes the way of Cebu. Nieras, a bit of the bump to Gaito Milland. And referee John Mike Basinang says, get up. And this happened right in front of me in the broadcast panel. It seemed that Gaito Milland was trying to sell that. This is played long. It's Amirul. We haven't seen much of Amirul getting forward because it would be Papu, and then Amirul will just lock down the fort at the back. But in this case, they've swapped positions for this spell. And there you go. You do see Amirul and Corsame swapping back to their usual positions. As we are getting some extracurricular activities already. Del Mundo and Dorado, from the looks of it, are getting into it. The crowd wanting a yellow, trying to play their part. It was Del Mundo and Maxon Dorado getting at it. So we wanted to clarify also, there's Coach Ernie Nieras did not travel with Stallion for this series of games, and that is due to personal reasons. As I covered that game remotely from Manila, I initially thought Coach Ernie was in the technical area of the visitors, but we got to confirm it. It's Coach Clint McDaniel standing in for him. Belgira got it to Shraki, or almost did. Combinations now. This is giving some extra life to the attack of Cebu. And here's Bailey going for the header, as we can confirm that was definitely inside the net. Kainua Bailey just sending the crowd here into absolute chaos. 1-0 for the home side in red. Let's take a look at that, the header, and Bailey using his athleticism. That's how he got to seal it. We may have heard another name for the goal scorer, but based on our footage, it's Kainua Bailey. It's a must-win for the two teams again. What makes this just extra crucial is that the two teams are just bunched together in the standings. And before these two teams squared off Wednesday, it was Cebu sitting at number 4 with Stallion at number 5. Thanks to Laguna getting the win in that fixture we were talking about. Laguna leapfrogged Cebu and took the number 4 spot. They're tied on points, or they were tied on points heading into this game. They were tied on goal difference too, and goals scored had to be the deciding factor. And it was Stallion at number 4. What if Cebu can hold on to this one or seal the win? They will go up to 30 points. Stallion will be at number 5 with 27. As Rocky put that ball in a dangerous area, Goktuk Demirolu Demirolu with his defensive duties. And Stephen Halm just organizing things with Liamas. Belgira to Takatoku. Build up from the back. Sendra. Just got past. Shraki slipping through. But Gabe Silva with that extra lunge. And Laguna started strong again earlier. But Cebu did enough to contain them. But there's that extra sense of urgency from the team trailing. Here's this ball. And it's in a dangerous spot. But no player from Stallion at that point. Silva. Play to Papu. A great connection. Some step overs. Dorado. Corre. Bailey. Right foot. It is wide though from the get-go. What you see now, Cebu playing with much less pressure. And that could just allow them to be more loose. And that could just give them or allow them to double the lead. You saw that from Stallion last Wednesday, as there is Kaito Millen down on the pitch. But here's a look again at that. And Bailey was offered space. He scored earlier. And why not? Why not try to take a crack at it? It's that left boot or left foot of Kaito Millen. But Kaito Millen back on his feet as expected. Just a bit of that spray. Perhaps trying to knock some momentum or just trying to ice any momentum of Laguna. So Kaito Millen will re-enter the pitch from the side, given that. It would have been amazing to get our referee Stephen Helm mic'd up here at Roberto Llamas. This should be a drop ball, given play was stopped for Kaito Millen, who went down on the pitch. There you go, Cebu back to full strength. Belgira. It's about making scoring chances or scoring opportunities count again. It's Cebu, the gentle giants who've made things count. As we've said again, some missing players due to injury and suspension. Undermanned, or Cebu getting some players back from injury or suspension. But now Laguna without the services of Abe Placito. And we say this because he did man that midfield and was instrumental in that last game of theirs. As Ricky plays this long, is it too strong? That is the case here. 9 minutes remaining until we head over to injury time in the first 45. Demirolu is just organizing their back line. It's Cebu, the team in red, with the initiative. Stallion now having to play catch up. Dorado versus Sendra. Dorado the victor there with his agility. And he wanted a foul. And what John Mike Basinang saw was enough for him to give a yellow to Yuki Takatoko. Dorado stopped even before the whistle. And we can confirm furthermore that the goal earlier was thanks to Kainua Bailey. We just wanted to cross-check things, given what we heard from the announcer appeared to be different. But oftentimes our announcer in contact with their general coordinator, who is then in contact with our fourth official. But we could see, of course, it was clearly Kainua Bailey. Dabao, as it is off the head of Gabe Silva and out. Trying to stretch their luck and say it came off a defender of Stallion. Played short. Del Mundo playing it long. But when Laguna played their combinations, that's what allowed them to get some scoring opportunities. Rosquillo, the clearance. Ham. I'm not so sure if Del Mundo directed that. Belgira did enough to get it to Sea-Dog. Sea-Dog got the quick first step versus Papu. Still inside as it is eventually outside according to our linesman. Now it was Sea-Dog who appeared to push his luck and just try to play on. Well, part of the game, as we say and as we know. That's part of the breaks of the game, regardless. So glad you could join us again right here on matchday.ph, as this is pretty much a playoff game. It's the second to the last weekend of matches. Cebu and Stallion now to solidify or confirm spots inside the top four. This is Carlo Manzano, your commentator for this evening. But if this result will stick, Stallion will be at number 5 and Cebu will be in either third spot or fourth spot. But we will still have another weekend of matches next week. But you want to get into the driver's seat, of course, heading into that last match day. And so far so good for Cebu. Superb control from Sendra as he received that ball from Llamas. Deliana Trujillo. Combinations, one got a touch as Demirolu cleared it. He's giving them that stability that Cebu lacked in their last game. Here comes Gaito Milland. Plenty of space. Taking on Ham, support from Takatoku. Not enough numbers. It was 2-on-4. And even 2-on-5 with Del Mundo tracking down. Well, there's Sendra open on the other side who was calling for it. But Takatoku sees it. But the defense has recovered now. They're using the width with that 3-4-3. But Cebu staying compact with that 4-4-2. As that ball was fended off. Definitely still inside there. Dabao got it to McDaniel. McDaniel has struggled to get his touches or his groove into the game. Shockey flicked it to Finn. But too much, or that hit, or that touch was too heavy. As there was the clearance, Rosquillo was floored by McDaniel. On off camera, let's focus on this. Maham couldn't reach that with his might as Gaito Milland got everyone with that fake. The entire stadium. It's Bailey wide. They're making the defense work. Cebu keeping numbers at the back just in case. Dorado. Clever from him. Kore. Amirul. They laid it off to him, but it went to Kore. I believe Kore was the intended man, I'd like to think. Bailey went for it. Or it went to Bailey directly. Taking his time. As we've said, they've gotten those nerves off. They're loose now because they lead 1-0 thanks to him. Back to Demirolu. And if they keep this up, they'll just drain some, or they'll just make this Stallion defense work, and they could be more tired in the end game. They're more comfortable with the ball, of course, as we know. As Bailey whipped in across. Gaito Milland couldn't connect. Papu will try to clean up. Del Mundo poked it out, but it is a corner kick. Here's a look at that again. Bailey versus Nieras. Milan couldn't reach it. Well, Papu could have tried to put that in also one touch, but he was there to clean up and won them a corner. A chance for Cebu to double their lead. Silva, but it came off of the shoulder of Ham, I believe. This is a replay, but it will go back the way of Laguna, as per our referee John Mike Basinang. Here's Llamas now. Resume this. Less than a minute until we head over to stoppage time. With the form here, only a win for Cebu in their last 5 games. A win, 3 losses, and a draw. Cebu well in the top 4 when they were heading into the Christmas break. And there was also that coaching change from the Gentle Giants mid-season, but it was during or early in the calendar year. This season spells runs 2 calendar years again, with from 2024 to 2025. It's at the feet of Ham. Del Mundo playing it through. Schaffner to chase. Rosquillo with the safety first clearance. 3 minutes of additional time as confirmed by our 4th official, Levi Sabelia. It's Cebu again in the driver's seat thanks to Kainwa Bailey. Nieras beating Milan, has a man on him, got it to Sendra. Del Mundo now playing in the middle. Takatoku. Stallion trying to sneak one in before the break so they could get back on level terms. Sea Dog. Well, it was cleared off by Amirul right before Schaffner could get to it. And Belguera and Del Mundo not on the same page as they gave that up. We are past the past a minute already. Nieras. Sendra. And said again, this is a fortress for the Gentle Giants. But interesting because Stallion again have had success here. And Laguna did derail. Stallion did derail Cebu's championship hopes twice already in the recent years. They did bag the necessary results in the 22-23 season to play spoilers to Cebu's championship hope or championship bid. That was also the case in 2024. For 2025, let's see. As McDaniel got this one on target, but definitely not enough power. And Badelic's positioning appeared to do the job. Here's that ball from Ricky connecting, and Finn McDaniel. Sendra, that type also can come up with assists. As it's headed back by Nieras, just gifted to Dorado, though. Gaito in the middle. Llamas, but Dorado hits the side. Nieras sends his apologies to his goalkeeper. You see Dorado is giving them the ball at the setup of that goal kick. That's why Bailey was giving him a mouthful or earful, because that allowed Llamas to play it quickly. Hence there's the spell as it's with Shraki. He'll try to bail out Laguna in the first half. Cleared off. The back line able to get above or just outside of the goalkeeper box again to keep the offense working. Stephen Halm. And just like that, we do get the halftime whistle to the delight of the home crowd here as they lead 1-0 thanks to Kainua Bailey.
The halftime score is Dynamic Herb 1.
It's almost a full house here at the Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex. Well, first we'll head over to the halftime break. It's 1-0 again for Cebu over Stallion Laguna thanks to Kainua Bailey, and we'll be back later on for your highlights. I'm back here at the dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex, and it is Laguna with the uphill task this time around. A flip of the switch, or a reversal of roles, you could say, compared to the last game, wherein these teams just met last Wednesday. And the reason why these two teams are playing against each other in back-to-back games, that Wednesday game between Cebu and Stallion was rescheduled from late 2024. But a tough task again for Stallion Laguna to play both games against Cebu. So Cebu will have the home field advantage. And supposedly, in scenarios where it's a double round robin, teams will take turns hosting the other. So in the first game, in theory, if Stallion will be the home team, in the second game, or in their second round encounter, it will be Cebu. But it is the Gentle Giants looking to bounce back again from that defeat of theirs last Wednesday. As we are off once more, and thank you for joining us on matchday.ph. A big thank you. And this is Claro Manzano, your commentator for this match. And some changes from Cebu despite of them leading this game. And Leo Makiling was inserted for Kainua Bailey, the goal scorer. Very interesting. That's a move you did not expect. And Rio Togashi is also in. And it seems the man who was replaced, or it seems that Dorado's replaced by Togashi. Not a like for like in that aspect. Togashi may be playing up front here. And yes, that is confirmed, because they're putting Gabe Silva at holding midfielder. As it was played out wide to Corsame up against Del Mundo. It's Del Mundo filling in at the back because Koichi was trying to help in the offense. As this ball was just wide off the far post. There was a chance for any Gentle Giant to just poke that one inside, as you see right here. And Papo's been on and playing his game. Has shaken the bake, but wide. Whether that was a shot, or it seemed like it was a shot, but if it wasn't on target, with the way it was placed, a teammate would have gotten a chance to just poach and send that in. The winner here again will make it, or will take third or fourth spot heading into the last match day or match weekend next week. As Liamas just gifted this back to Cebu. The intention was there, execution was off. Leo Makiling was calling for it, still with Togashi. Now we did see Cebu ran out of space at that moment. Action in the further end. Kore. He's been that engine. Milan flicked it to Makiling. One touch, but saved at the near post. We've said again, Leo Makiling scored last game. Bilgira to Takatoku. Shraki. He's getting an extended run given Laguna do not have a Placito. He's serving a suspension after accumulating yellow cards. Shraki to Bilgira. Space in the midfield as Papu is chasing him down and the defense recovers. Sendra, no options on the wing. Shraki versus Silva. He'll try to take him on. Sends it off of the afro of Goktu Demirolu. And Kore, it's a foot race. Ham versus Gaito Meland. This one rolls out. Linesman says it will be, or it will go the attacking direction of Stallion Laguna, the team in white. They trail. Cebu in the lead again. They are in all red. It's thanks to the goal of Kainwa Bailey. He was subbed off though at halftime. A very interesting move from Coach Glenn. Del Mundo. Shraki. Shraki playing it through to Koichi versus Rosquillo. Well, Gabe Silva got his body in the way. It's not often you see Belgira show his emotions, because he wasn't happy with that. He felt, of course, they could have gotten or given more. And JB Borlongan was a player who was missing also, or was not utilized last game. He is on the bench now. He's one of those players, of course, you expect to see in or to play for Cebu. Taken from Nieras. Back and forth, or ping-ponging around. Sandra. The cross. And that effort of Galeana Trujillo was sent out for a corner kick. And that is correct. JB Borlongan was listed as not playing last game. There's any, but first there's a chance. There's a gentle giant down, but it's counter-attack time. Papu just storming through the middle. And Carto Milland out wide, a position he's familiar with. Dabao the overlap off of Papu, I believe. Makiling, but it was just wasted here. Well, Milland mishit it, but Makiling keeping possession their way as it is offside. And they said it was offside when Makiling played it to Dabao. But a notable absence is OJ Porteria for Stallion Laguna. Porteria, a former national team player, has been recovering from a thigh injury. But both teams again with deep rosters. Takatoku was not on the same wavelength as Laguna. The two having an argument there briefly as Takatoku nakabawi siya rito as he sent in the attacking direction. Demirolo the scissors just to get it out. And Belgira couldn't hit it to Shraki. And the battle of the man buns between Sirog Schaffner and Kaja Mirul. Ricky Sendra, but I believe this came off of Rafi Dabao, hence Demirolo wants to make it a throw-in instead of a corner kick. Mission accomplished there for the Turkish big brother in the Gentle Giants. Will be one of those games where you'll see Stefan Schrock just bail his team out. We've seen that from him regardless of the team he's played for. We're not saying that's the only lifeline. We are saying this because Laguna have this chance also, where they have plenty of cogs in the machine who can just feed off of one another. But 7 minutes in, and the pace just carried on from the start of the game, or from the first half. Yeah, we are in the second 45 already of this game. And again, if this result will stick, Cebu will be in the top 4. Or they will be in the top 4 heading into the last match day. As it was deemed here that Shraki got into the way of Gabe Silva. High fives there as they got this their way. Veteran moves from Silva, you could say. How often Of course, do you see players get a veteran move pulled off versus a guy like Stefan Schrock? And we say that with him being one of the most experienced players. You could say that similarly also to a player like Goktu Demirolu. Chance of Tara Cebu as it's Korsame looking on. As we know, a one-goal lead is not safe as it's taken, and it was definitely over. And the goal scorer again, Kainua Bailey. He was subbed off. This is Bailey's first of the season. There was confusion also in that game versus Loyola. That Bailey, or there were reports that Bailey scored, but it was actually Rentaro Hama. Togashi to Kore. Makiling is out wide. That's the option they go for. Leo, using his technical ability, as near as his clearance, literally goes to the parking lot. Well, Abusi, the top scorer of Cebu with 8, has not been utilized. But there's Gaito Milan with 4 and Rio Togashi with 3 also in this season. That's just the case for Gabe Silva, who often plays center back. Stallion's leading scorer is Finn McDaniel with 11, and he is in joint second place in the Golden Boot race. No Abe Placito, who has 5 goals to his name, but that man on the pitch receiving some medical attention. Juan Galeana Trujillo like Placito, has 5 goals too. Well, let's talk about options of the bench. Cebu already rolled the dice with Togashi and Makiling, as there will be a corner kick. But for Stallion, maybe there's the possibility of a player like Fahmi Ibrahim. Ibrahim could potentially give them that burst or that spark off the bench. There's Hiromasa Ishikawa and Rentaro Hama subs, also Paolo Pavone. And Gaito Milan is there because he will be sending in a corner kick. But this is not good. Juan Galeana Trujillo has to be subbed off, unfortunately, in the perspective of the visitors. And Coach Clint again standing in as the head, as Coach Ernie Nieras did not make the trip due to personal reasons. And here's the change that we are anticipating.
Substitution for Stallion Laguna FC.
It's a double sub.
Number 11. Juan Diego Galeana Trujillo is replaced by player number 73, Robert Juan.
So there's Kue, who entered for Galeana Trujillo, and MJ Libre entering. Christian Seedog Shafter subbed off by MJ Libre. But here's the header from Demirolu that just sailed over. Inches off. He got the bottom of the ball. If he just got maybe a bit of the top, it would have been a 2-0 game. It's MJ Canicosa Libre, as we know. Libre has bagged goals already, I believe, in his time with Laguna. Let's take a look. Libre does bring in the dribbling skills. Here's Rocky now, bypassing the midfield, the back line to beat the pull of the shirt. And that is why there's a whistle and a card versus Rio Togashi. He knew what he was doing, of course, when you talk about Rio Togashi. Getting the stop as opposed to letting a player or an attacking player bring it all the way up and potentially test their goalkeeper in June Badelik. But we haven't seen these opportunities as of late when you talk about free kicks from scoring distance or from a dangerous area. But perhaps this will be a service. It's given the angle. No players out wide on the left. They're all on the right. And Finn McDaniel gives the signal as our referee allows play. Padelic off his line. Robert Quay keeping it. Beaten by Kore. It went outside. Goal kick here is the call. Here's a look again, trying to go for a runner. It was too high for Ricky Senja, too high for anyone. I'm not so sure if the tallest player in the PFL would have been able to reach that too. And speaking of Senja, something brewing on the right. Rocky laid it off. Robert Quay getting past, shoots, and Kaja Merul just got that one out desperately. That's why Badelic urgently communicating with his back line. Here's Shraki giving the ball to Robert Quay. Getting past Demirolo. Togashi, desperate, came up with a slide. I'm not so sure if it was Amirul who got a touch, but nonetheless, the Gentle Giants get a stop they need because they only have a precarious 1-0 lead. Here's the ball in, punched out. Libre thought about it. Wide to McDaniel. It was deemed onside. It was off of Jaime Rosquillo. Getting it to Papu. The battle of Tondo here. Libre versus Corsame. This is a matchup you want to see. One representing Laguna, the other representing Cebu. As Del Mundo has too much power in this. But not a problem for Llamas, but had to send it out. Leo Makiling wanted to get another goal from dispossessing a goalkeeper. And after all, that's how Leo Makiling got his debut goal here while playing for Cebu. It's fit, like Kajamirul, it's fitting for Leo Makiling, given that he is Cebuano. He's a Cebuano playing for this team. Cebu, the only team to be based outside of Luzon. This is their home base where they train, do their therapy, and also have their gym sessions. Play carrying on. We'll go for the right. Will Laguna equalize or will Cebu at the least hang on? It's Laguna with that sense of urgency. Hence, it's Cebu who've had to do defending. But here is a foul that was won by Kue. Will Stallion be able to capitalize off this set piece? Or will the Gentle Giants continue to man the fort with the 12th man driving them on with that support? Here we go. The usual reminders from our referee, John Mike Basinang. Now pushing and shoving as players seek to get an advantage. It is almost Silva Shraki! And the scissors kick was denied by Badelic. And that had to be the biggest save so far in this game. And that would have been another highlight for Stefan Schrock. We say that because his goal was a stunner the last time these teams played Wednesday. Llamas gets distance. Mosenjo tried to keep it for them. And it seems we have showers right here at the dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex. Let's also try to look here, and it is a 3-0 lead for One Taguig over Maharlika Taguig over at Binyan. We are saying this because One Taguig is actually in the race to finish in the or is in the race to make it to the final series, just like these two teams competing here. Sendra, Quay, running into a brick wall named Ralphie Dabao. His slide sent the ball the other way. Quay cutting it back, but Gabe Silva to the rescue. Sends this ball to the side. And two Gentle Giants again, in similar fashion, confronting the assistant referee. Demirolo will have to be careful because this oftentimes warrants a card. And we can, without a doubt, conclude that's what Finn McDaniel was pushing for. Takatoku, plenty of space, got to slide this one in. But it was out. Demirolo is fired up here. It's a playoff-like atmosphere again. Who will get the upper hand heading into the last match day? This is like a playoff game when there is a tomorrow again. But winning this simplifies the scenario for either team. And Stallion need an equalizer, Cebu need an insurance goal. The next goal, the most important one. Here comes Rocky. MJ Libre taking on Kaja Mirul. But Gabe Silva providing support. You gotta love how Silva tracked down from the midfield after losing out in that quick first step versus Shrock, Del Mundo, Belgira. Shrocky again. Or will Gabe Silva continue to prevail? You can say there's three players covering him. There's a support from MJ. Silva pushed him to the corner. Lobbing this. MJ Libre. Jaime Rosquillo shields this because he saw that it was bound for a Badelic goal kick. Well, here's a look at one of the plays earlier. That's how Gabe Silva recovered. Let's update our live standings also to give us a better picture of the play of the race to number 3 and number 4. One Taguig at the moment leads Maharlika 3-0. And it's back to the keeper. Llamas released on time. Takatoku. For the moment, the subs of Cebu have been able to get the job done, which is at least holding on to this lead again. There's a collision on the other side as Gabe Silva Ricky Sendra hit the deck after a push from Gabe Silva. We see Mr. Philbert Alquiros also pictured on the bench. If you look at the other side, his counterpart, Mr. Tassi, the owner of Cebu though, very hands-on also. But Coach Clint, who is the man calling the shots, also an owner of the team. No Coach Ernie Nieras again. Coach Ernie did not make the trip to Cebu for this series of games. Well, let's get our live picture and just key in a potential 1-0 result going the way of Cebu, as this is into the safe hands of veteran goalkeeper June Badelic. Badelic again, the top-ranked local goalkeeper with 6 clean sheets. If he makes it 7, he'll be the best goalkeeper in the PFL outright again as we head into the last match weekend. Well, here's Llamas close by with 5 clean sheets. The clean sheet again, if you're able to hold your opponents to 0 goals in a game. MJ Libre getting it to Shiraki. Just rolled it. Belgira. Oh, here's the well-executed slide from Amirul. Corsame. Won by MJ Libre. And he wins it here for them. Or he wins a foul further to add to possession. And Laguna have been able to get these set pieces here and there. But if we look at things at this moment, Wantagig and Cebu set to go to third and fourth with 30 points each, as Badelic once more secured. Laguna will be stagnant with 27. So in this scenario, Wantagig, or you could say Wantagig, have the safety of their goal difference if ever they figure in a tie with any of these teams. So should this result stick, but regardless of result here, it will be all to play for in the last match day, as here's a call, and the Cebu bench along with Mr. Tassi animated as our referee is heading to the bench, and Mr. Tassi, who's booked, Evren Tassi, their sporting director, also animated. Well, Mr. Tassi was given the booking. But what's interesting is you have Paolo Pavone and team manager Cebuhana Wong voicing their sides to our linesman, or to our referee rather. No, make that our fourth official. Let's check that. And they felt this whistle should have gone their attacking direction. But Cebu haven't really been able to come up with clear-cut scoring chances. And there's more of the press on the back line, and not Roberto Llamas while handling the ball, hoping to force a mistake. Let's remember, Levi Sabelia is our fourth official. Seemed like he was having a chat also. Or he was the man having a chat with Cebu's bench. And Gaito Milan there just to deny any quick plays. Stephen Hum will get this going their way. With the stoppage favors Cebu, of course, because they are in the lead. Well, a 1-0 lead is too close for comfort. That's why Laguna have been knocking on the door. And you could assume Ryo Togashi has a wound, but no, it's not the case. It's a bit of that spray on some ailing muscles. And I was going to say wound because next thing you know, we did see Cebu's physiotherapist head over to the pitch after what has been quite a stoppage already here. But Togashi is shaken up. We are in the 72nd minute already, and you are catching this one on matchday.ph. Thank you for joining us again. Maraming salamat po. It's Cebu again, the home side, in all red, defending this lead versus Stallion Laguna, or out to equalize at the least. Here comes Robert Quay. Got his pocket picked by Leo Makiling. It's wide to Leo. Getting it to the middle, but the heavy touch from Gaito Milan. That's why Stallion trying to come up with something now. Libre surveys. Sendra. A bit of the turn. Belgira up against Samirul. Del Mundo, he's been shifted to the back given the changes they've made. And we'll try to clarify how that warranted or ended up becoming a foul. Was it a handball? It will be a free kick again, a set piece. And Matt Niana's making some input also. As we see this one being set up. It's an angle again for a service. We thought this ball was getting knocked in, but it was off target. Both sides trying to get a call their way. It's a corner kick for Laguna in white. The Gentle Giants in red again. "16 minutes remaining and change. It's been Cebu holding the fort. Shraki couldn't get to it, but it was off another Cebu player. Now let's check that. We thought it was a corner for a moment, but it is a goal kick for the Gentle Giants and June Badelic. And Badelic takes his time, of course. That's the situation. The scenario favors them. A collision on the pitch, and it goes the way of Robert Kuei and Stallion. Cebu and their fans live it again. And Mr. Tassi being pacified in his technical area. The crowd also livid there. They could not accept that call. They felt it was their way as they're getting behind their team. The Stallion still continuing to chase. And perhaps as the attacking team, he would have expected more shots from them, or more shots to trouble June Badelic. It's been more of chances they've been denying, crosses here and there, as Del Mundo got it to Ham. Nieras. They moved Koichi Belgira to the midfield, and Del Mundo was placed in left center back to flank Stephen Ham. Here comes Shraki. We're aware that fitness is an issue for Shraki, given that he was away from the game for some time. And played by Dabao to Gaito Milland. Dabao still wants it on the left, as it moved to the middle, as Yuki Takatoku was clipped. Belgira quickly to MJ Libre. MJ taking on Amirul. Clever to Koichi, to the middle, flicked it back, and was Libre. It appears that Libre wasn't hit. His shot was denied or skied. The defense did enough to change it up. Let's take a look at that one. Libre attracted attention from the defense. It came off of Demirolo and Rosquillo, and Libre mishit it. That could have been the equalizer here, but the Gentle Giants continue to hold on. 13 minutes remaining until we head over to stoppage time, as Papu gets it into the box. Well, Roberto Llamas did beat Kaito Millan to it. Takatoku asking for options. Sees the space, brings it up. Shraki to McDaniel. 2 touches. The third one to whip it to Libre. Belgira. They've been connecting well when you talk about Koichi and MJ Libre. And when you talk about doing things well, the dynamic duo of Kadra Mirul and Jaime Rosquillo continue to do so. There's that chemistry between the two again. And crowd favorite of Cebu, Rintaro Hama, is set to enter the game. There's the anticipation from the fans cheering his name on. It's not Leo Makiling though stepping off for Rintaro Hama. And it is Gaito Millan calling it a shift. Will Rentaro Hama be the answer? As the Gentle Giants want to see this through because they've been in stormy waters. Or will Laguna trot their way to equalize at the least? But if this result sticks, the top four will consist of Kaya, Manila Digger, Wantagig, Cebu, heading into the last match day. The shirt pull from Hama. Niera's not happy with that. It's been a physical game. It seems referee John Mike Basiana has allowed our players to play. The defensive header of Tabao went to Ricky Sendra, taking on Leo Makiling. The cross from Ricky, but it's offline. And we do see Rosquillo get down. You do not want to lose a member of your back line, especially in a game like this. But as we say, of course, regardless of who leads, whoever is in the lead will look to take time off the clock. We say this every game, in every game where we see scenarios like these from the leading team. We see a chat here from MJ Libre and Papu Corsame also off camera as Rosquillo will get some medical attention. But off camera chat between Corsame and Libre, the two players from Tondo. There you go, at the bottom of the screens. Hard-nosed with the way they play. Also swaggy given their footwork from their respective futsal backgrounds. But time continues to tick. This will be a big blow if they lose Rosquillo. And it seems that Cebu will be down to 10 players for the moment, but Rosquillo set to enter. He's just trying to jog this one off. The Gentle Giants down to 10 players temporarily. Yes, it will be Badelic to resume this off the drop ball. Off the head of Stephen Haum. It ping-pongs the way of Makiling. Nieras. Sendra got it to Robert Quay. Quay just bringing it up. Options left, right, and center. It's wide to Libre. It seems that Rosquillo cannot resume. As Libre does well to keep this in. That would have been outside if it wasn't MJ Libre chasing it down. Del Mundo to Shiraki. The shift. Couldn't play to Senja nor McDaniel or Quay. Demirolo and Silva. And Silva now playing at the back, given there's no Rosquillo. Daniel Gadya may sub a player though. As it's played forward by Rio Togashi. Hama thought it was going out. As Del Mundo and Rintaro Hama got tangled up. And as we've said, with Hama being a favorite of the crowd, they're obviously getting behind him. As our referees will have a chat. Now, offside was the call here, not a foul. So it was offside before Del Mundo and Hama got tangled up. Now Jaime Rosquillo back in the game also. It seems Daniel Gadya is entering for Papu Corsame. And this is more of a tactical substitution or not a like-for-like change. They're getting Gadya, player who is more of the holding midfielder. As we've said again, they're out to protect this precarious 1-0 lead. Or check that, it's not. Yes, it seems Gadya will enter. There's also a change looming for Stallion Laguna and Coach Clint. So off comes Ricky Sendra.
Substitution for Stallion Laguna FC. Player number 29, Ricardo Sendra, player number
So Masaya Watanabe did check into the game for Ricky Sendra. Some fresh legs, but it may be too little too late. We did see Daniel Gadya enter, not for Papu Korsame. Cebu burning precious seconds of the clock. The gentle, it's outside. It'll still stay with the Gentle Giants in red again. And Daniel Gadya actually came on for Jaime Rosquillo. Gadya will look to put in those defensive duties as Davao sends this down the line. Went straight to the feet of Masaya. And Shiraki getting fouled by Daniel Gadya. We know Daniel Gadya, of course, brings in that strong frame, a fiery 1-2. MJ Libre. Togashi did enough to win it. Papu playing it. Del Mundo got it to Togashi. Uncertainty now with a shaky from Del Mundo at the back. Rio Togashi almost on the clear. The clear hold from Togashi and Stephen Halm. Hence it's a foul against him. 5 minutes remaining until we head over to stoppage time. And this game continuing this game adding another chapter to the Stallion versus Dynamic Herb Cebu rivalry. And appears that Bill Gear had nutmegged Amirul. Well, Koktu Demirol was there to the rescue. Shiraki over to Del Mundo. Takatoku. But this foul is eventually against Del Mundo. He is going to get booked. And there you go, a yellow card. 4 minutes now. And the Gentle Giants will do everything they can, of course, and not just hold on. Will also take time away from the game. Togashi okay after receiving a playoff foul. And Daniel Gadya driving his team on. One of the longest tenured players with the club. As is the case with the likes of JB Borlongan. Borlongan on the bench. Well, he's still recovering from injury. But he just recovered from injury rather. Here's Gabe Silva. He's finishing the game at center back. He started at holding mid. Here's the cross. Del Mundo, the header. MJ Libre only puts height on this ball. Couldn't get it forward to Finn or Shiraki or even Robert Quay. As Liamas gets this. And we saw Hama stopping in front of his path also. And that's the gray line that they were threading. And we saw also Masaya Watanabe was calling for it. MJ Libre versus Gabe Silva. Masaya Watanabe. There's a defense in front of him. Robert Quay to MJ. And couldn't slide it to Shiraki. And it's cleared out by Kore. Now Stephen Halm was tentative. Won it with his body. This challenge or that fall did not convince our referee for any whistle against either side. And it's won by Makiling here, and secured rather. Takatoku. We are nearing additional time already here. The winner will get the advantage heading into the last match day as both teams are out to seal a ticket to the final series. That is a separate trophy again from the league title. The top 4 teams will get a chance to compete for another trophy. And what a shift too from Davao. Shraki. It's been that frustrating evening, you could say, for Stallion, where they've been on the attack. Because Cebu did score pretty much in the early stages. You say that, or say it's a slow burn because Cebu scored early. Laguna have been caught playing catch up, but to no avail. That can frustrate you, of course. But they'll need those veteran heads. Stephen Halm. Masaya Watanabe. Alonzo Del Mundo. Shraki. Kadia out to track him down. Released it, but it went to the defense. The two Japanese players going at it. And that was Rentaro Hama going for the dive just to stop Masaya Watanabe, or was it Yuki Takatoku? Both Cebu doing everything that they can to secure this result. Two options lurking. These changes waiting in the wings seem to be too little, too late. With Mark Hartman and David Yaboa. And perhaps a player like Mark Hartman with his distributions, with his ability to distribute, could have potentially changed the course of this game. But here's a change we are expecting. Nieras will come off for Yaboa. And Del Mundo will come off for Hartman. A foreigner and local player out. And another foreigner and another local player in. Yaboa, of course, a foreigner. And Mark Hartman, a former Philippines international, a local player. But it's crunch time here for Finn McDaniel and Stallion Laguna, as they're desperate to at least level this. Off the head of Yuki Takatoku. Stephen Halm joining to give some height. Libre to Hartman. Hartman! But it's offside right here against the visitors. Cebu closing in. And June Badelic will take his time. Pulling out all the tricks in the bag. Tricks in the bag to waste time just to complete that thought. As Stephen Halm is down. Mark Hartman getting it to Belgira. Given that it's desperation time for Stallion. Mashraki's ball goes over to Amirul. Gabe Silva. And they stop this for Halm. This is not good because they're playing catch up. If you're Cebu, you'll take this stoppage. But in the overall picture, you hope it's okay, or you hope that Halm is okay. He may have tweaked a muscle, straining that hamstring. It could absolutely hurt, of course. Time continues to tick. We have 4 minutes remaining until we hit the 7th minute. And Stephen Halm is over at the half line and is expected to return. And this will be a drop ball for the Gentle Giants as Gabe Silva, with Gabe Silva, and Laguna hoping to just press and pounce We're aware, of course, that putting pressure in the back line could lead to a team winning it in a golden area and then come up with a scoring opportunity. Here's the drop ball as Silva has to clear. He gets the job done right there. Even gets it to Leo Makiling. Kore. Yeboah. Stallion back to full strength. Koichi calls for Llamas. These teams on the verge now of splitting their series. But it will be Cebu at 30 on the table. Laguna 27. Hartman giving some extra depth in that midfield. Gadya versus Shiraki. Both sides are both refusing to budge. Daniel Gadya has been given that role of stopping Shiraki. It's been mission accomplished here as Gadya's trying to sell that. And referee John Mike Basinang says to get up. It's Mark Hartman now standing up to the plate as we have 2 minutes until we hit the 7th minute. And Silva again. Yeboah. And Takatoku. And Jun Badelik to the rescue again as Stephen Harm came close. And the crowd approving of that. As Cebu are nearing a victory here to avenge that loss last Wednesday. And with what Mark Hartman's doing of impeding Badelik, takes some precious seconds away from the clock. Hama versus Yeboah. Hama the height advantage. Hama the fall. But not enough to convince our referee. He was hoping to get a penalty. A penalty would have potentially given Cebu a chance to ice the game. But it's on. 1 minute and 10 remaining until we hit the 7 allotted minutes. Watanabe. Takatoku. But this game was a grinded out one for Cebu. The Gentle Giants closing in. It's Takatoku again. But just given away just like that. An unforced error that could just spell the difference. It's a foot race now. And it will go the way of Cebu, who I've seen or who've had very minimal attacking here as they've grinded it out. Makiling takes his time. Will it be a long throw from him? Not the case. We are past the allotted 7 minutes already in this game. And it will be a goal kick for Llamas. Maybe we'll see some time added on to the 7, but it's all up to the discretion of our referee, John Mike Basinang. That's because we've seen some stoppages due to fouls, some players getting treatment also here and there. But Cebu do enough because they do not get it, or they stop Laguna from getting in the attacking direction. Here's Makiling. But just like that, it's the full-time whistle. And the Gentle Giants feeling this one. Goktu Demirolu getting up there as close as he could to the grandstand. The frustration from Stallion with the joy from Cebu. As we head on to the last match week, the Gentle Giants have a hand on a ticket to the final series. Laguna outside looking in. They entered the series of games empty-handed or outside looking in. But our security has had to step in. But we say this again, we entered the series of games here. It was Laguna number 5, Cebu number 4. That flipped, of course, after the game last Wednesday. But it heads back to where we started, you could say, heading into this week. Cebu ranked number 4, Stallion number 5, as we are nearing the end. But the situation did have to be pacified right here. Security still on the pitch. And we see, of course, that the tensions have settled. There you go. We will sign off from this one. As we have the highlights to keep you company. And Cebu again did score. Not from here because Gaito Milan rattled the crossbar. Everyone felt that one. And the diving header from Gabe Silva was off target. But it was Kainua Bailey who eventually scored. But this one actually did hit the side of the net. We thought it was a goal for the moment, given our angle. Quality ball from Kainua Bailey. Bailey, despite of him scoring, did get subbed off at the halftime mark. And that ball from Rafi Daba was intercepted by Roberto Llamas. Well, here's a look. Kainua Bailey burying that. The lone goal right here. Well, Stefan Schrock did all that he could in his mind as he played a full 90. And just as Laguna tried to get an equalizer, but to no avail. The Gentle Giants again trusted the process, grinded it out. They got the early goal. The script somewhat flipped actually, because Laguna got an early goal in their last game, which was just last Wednesday. These two teams faced one another. Maxon Dorado, a player who did get some scoring opportunities along with Gaito Milan, but they were subbed off. Dorado was subbed off much earlier. Papu Corsame, what a shift from him also. And that was quite a treat to watch. Papu Corsame versus MJ Libre, players from Tondo. One representing Laguna and Libre, the other representing Cebu and Corsame. Well, we are emphasizing again, Cebu enters the last match day with an advantage on points. Laguna will need a favor from Cebu's last game versus Davao, and then Stallion will need to win versus Kaya FC next weekend. Kaya will need to get that win also, as Shrocky's scissors kick was denied by Jun Badelik. Set pieces were aplenty actually right here. But Jun Badelik and his backline managed to hold the fort. And as we say and as we know, the dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex, a fortress for the Gentle Giants. But it ends 1-0 again, as we mentioned, thanks to the lone goal of Kainua Bailey this evening. But we will sign off right here from Talisay, Cebu. A big thank you on behalf of the entire hard-working team, the cameramen, technical crew, and they're led by Derek John Alcoseba. But this is Claro Manzano, your commentator. And as we say, we will see you in the penultimate match week of the regular season.